Well, the implication in the show was that agricultural biotechnology isn't well regulated, or that it's loosely regulated. But the fact is that products of ag biotechnology are some of the most regulated products we have. Up to 3 agencies can look at them: FDA, EPA, and USDA, depending on what the trade is, and what the crop is, and what the end use is. And those processes, those regulatory processes, can take a decade to get through. Millions of dollars of development time, lots of paperwork, lots of oversight by agency staffers who are looking at this data that's being presented by applicants. So the idea that something could just slip through the system and come out at the end with all sorts of problems just is not true. So on the show there was this interaction between a spider venom component and some colorant that was used in foods that interacted and caused some sort of toxic effect that was causing sickness. This sort of harkens back to an example from many years ago that some people may be aware of, when a gene from Brazil nut was being used to increase the nutritional value of other foods. And it turned out that that gene actually caused some people to have allergic reactions. Now, the product was never put on the market. It was discovered long before it was ever marketed. But that's an old example, and that the technology to detect allergens and toxins has advanced significantly since those days. Nowadays, when you're developing a trait, you ask those questions right up front. Is there anything about this protein that is allergenic or potentially toxic? And you eliminate those alternatives from your development, your research development, and you don't pursue traits that have those potentials. Activists like to portray farmers as being victimized by ag biotech corporations, this enormous multinational company forcing their will upon farmers, but that is absolutely not true. Farmers are business people, and they have to make a living. And the decision to pick one seed variety over another seed variety is an incredibly important decision, and they don't make those decisions lightly, because it could mean the difference between making money that year and not making money that year. So they buy traits that they think will work for them. And that includes buying traits that are safe. They're not going to buy a seed product that's going to produce a crop that's going to be poisonous. That is just ridiculous. It would mean the end of their business. And the implication that farmers don't make those decisions wisely and in an informed way is absurd. The disposal of biohazardous waste, or hazardous waste in general, is regulated at many levels, at the federal level, state level, sometimes the county level. So the idea that someone could back up a pickup truck to a biohazard waste disposal facility and just pick things that they are interested in and take it home with them is just ridiculous. These are facilities that are only accessed by authorized personnel. They're inspected on a regular basis. They have to have records that document what goes in and how it's disposed of and where it went and who was responsible for that part of the process. So it's simply not possible to just walk away with things from these facilities. So, like I said, I used to be a scientist, and as an ex-scientist who worked in the lab, one of the most disturbing things about this show was how it made science looks almost silly, like a series of magic tricks. Science isn't like that at all. Science takes a lot of time and a lot of thought. At least good science does. Fast science is probably not going to be good science. I mean, I think the example of cold fusion in a coffee cup that came out 10 years ago that took the world by storm, and everyone realized after a little bit of examination, found out that it wasn't really documentable, that this wasn't really good science. The attack on scientists in this show, that they don't think through their work, they don't think about implications, either societal or health-based implications or economic-based implications of their work, is ridiculous. Science is a part of society. The discoveries of science become a part of society, and the needs of society influence what science looks into and tries to develop. And trying to create this disconnect that it takes sort of a MacGyver type person to understand it all is ridiculous. Science is a part of all our lives.